This is one of the times I'm actually glad you can get a point in a loss in the NHL, because that did feel like a point-earning effort, right? Sometimes I'm like, really? Overtime, shootout, you guys get a point? In every other sport, it's either a win or a loss, or if it's a tie, it's a tie, but I'm not even particularly fond of those. But this is one of those moments where I'm like, you know what? I'm not super mad. I wish they could have scored another goal in regulation and got the win. Obviously, and they had some opportunities that I thought, they had a legitimate chance to convert. But their system is going to have games like this when they are playing well.
I saw some people saying, shootout or overtime, shootout on the road at Pittsburgh, that's a game you got to win. No, it's not, especially with everything that you were up against, and I hate to be that guy that blames the officials, but come on.
We're going to have that conversation.
The penalty call on Svechnikov in overtime is atrocious, and also the hit up against the board on Pesce, where the numbers are still clear. I just don't get it. I don't understand it.
We'll get there, so hold that thought. Stick a pin in it. I want to go back to what I was saying, which is the system is going to have games like this when they're playing well. Like when they're playing well, they are protecting their own net, and they're sometimes more conservative with their attack because it's so effort-filled to do what they want to do on the defensive end of the ice. And there is an element of you need them to break your way, right? You need the call to go your way, which we're going to talk about. You need a deflection to go your way, or two, or three. I will take... I still believe over the next month, the most important thing for the Canes is that Kochetkov continues his hot streak of play. That's the most important part. Until Freddie can get back, whenever that is, when Freddie Anderson can come back and spell Kochetkov a little bit here, he's battling fatigue. He's battling the other team. He's battling all-time greats like Sidney Crosby. Like, he's out there doing it, and as long as he can keep his momentum and you're picking up points, even though you'd like to win, I'm not going to be super negative about that game. I don't believe they gave back all the momentum that they made up in that Golden Knights game, which I was concerned about. You go out and lay an egg in the next game, and all of that quickly dissipates. So I'm not going to say that. Now, you do have to address the refs. Rod Brind'amour is one of the more control what you can control coaches out there, right? He's an old school hockey guy. Even he made references to the refs after the game, so I feel like we're okay talking about it. Bad calls are one thing, right? And we can sit here and debate until we are out of breath, until Christmas comes and goes and New Year's comes and goes. We could just sit here and keep talking about this ref did us dirty, that ref did us dirty. The thing that I think is most frustrating as an athlete in a team dealing with the refs is when it feels inconsistent, right? If you're like, I'll use baseball as an example because it's the easiest kind of analogy, direct comparison to make. If you have a really tight strike zone, like if you have a strike zone that's 6 inches wide and 8 inches high, I don't care as long as when I'm pitching and hitting, it's the same strike zone, right? We can all adjust together. The part where it gets messed up is where one team is being squeezed, where one team has a tiny strike zone and the next inning, like the bottom half of the inning, the strike zone widens. That's the upsetting part. And it felt like at times the refs last night were swallowing their whistle and letting them play and not calling the ticky-tack stuff. And then randomly in overtime, they're like, no, Svech, to the box. And I'm going, wait. You're going to let all that other stuff pass and then get a little ticky-tack in overtime when the chips are down? That's the part that really bothers me, right? If this is going to be hard to say. Genuinely bad refs are fair, right? Because they're making bad calls all night. They're making bad calls. Your guy's going to the box for 2 minutes when he shouldn't. Our guy's going to the box for 2 minutes when he shouldn't. Bad, generically bad refs are fair. It all comes out in the wash. It's when it's unfair and lopsided towards one team where it starts to feel very upsetting. And I got some of those vibes last night, and that's why I think everybody was very upset.
There's no makeup calls.
There's, and you never want a makeup call, but you kind of do, right? Go back to the times before replay existed, okay? And I played football, and I have some funny stories from college about replays. when a wide receiver's like, I definitely caught it. Definitely. As we're waiting for the replay, then we all watch it on the Jumbotron, and it skipped like 3 yards in front of him right off the ground. And we're going like, I thought you said you caught it. And I didn't know if the ref was listening. Okay, well, from now on, be honest with us so we know if we're facing 3rd and 10 or 1st and 10. Like the replays are good for the sport, but go back to pre replay, right? Before they had that. If there was a bad call and the ref looks up on the Jumbotron and sees a bad call, again, I get the logic of just focus on making the right play the next time, the right call, but you also, it's like, maybe even that one out, right? If you call the, I don't know, interference, and then you look up on the Jumbotron and you recognize, oh, that was not interference at all. Maybe you call a phantom interference on the other team. It's not right. You'd rather just get it all right from the beginning, but I get it. And there wasn't that. You're right. There wasn't even. Good and even is the best. Good referee, even, best. Bad referee, even, second best. Then you get into the stuff you really don't want.